why this phenomena happened. So I started exploring and I found out some of them, and there are quite a few. I don't want to go on and talk about all of them, but it actually tells you why this becomes a very big phenomenon. I'm just gonna talk about the oldest one, and the one that I think is most important as well. It's dialectics. Dialectics is the art of finding the contradiction in your opponent's argument. If two people are conversating, and you progress by actually finding a contradiction in your opponent's argument. If you do that, you not only make yourself intellectually more powerful, but you actually progress. So this was a concept always used in ancient times, starting from when our forefathers gathered around fires and started talking about stuff. In ancient Greece, this was the main sort of way in which civilization progressed. But when at the beginning of the 19th century, there was an explosion of the media, mainstream media. That was all very good, but what happened was only a few of us started to shape the opinions of a lot of us. So there were a few companies and few organizations that held power in the media, and they projected their views, and their opinions, their views became your views. So basically they became the opinion makers. Similarly, this happened when the web came as well, believe it or not, because the web at that time was Web 1.0. The Web 1.0, the first instance of the web, that is in the 90s, spawned very good services. You would have a lot of services coming out of this venture. But again, as you can see, these are, these companies were well known in the 90s, but again, the power was concentrated. The power of information was concentrated on the hands of a few, and they were distributing it to many. But in the early part of the 2000s, this decade, we saw the emergence of Web 2.0. Web 2.0 basically liberated and gave power to the masses. There was a Brazilian engineer by the name of Orkut in Google Labs, and he came up with this idea, Orkut. And basically, it was a social revolution whereby the community grew organically, by invitation only. And later on, it spawned a whole family of other social networks. So what happened here? The whole idea, as you can see, people cooperated, shared ideas, and again went back to the roots of dialectics. We had Wikipedia, where anyone can write information, and if it's wrong, they can correct it there and then. We've got YouTube, where 1 million channel viewers and users. You can know more about any country by looking at YouTube videos than if you go on to watch their channels, because it actually tells you what the people are after and what the people are saying. So, the whole idea Web 2.0 did was take the advantage away from the mainstream media and gave it to the people. So the people decided what came and what they had to watch. We must never underestimate the power of this media. We must never. Because these networks allow us to connect with people who we never know or we would never hope to know. I can give you my example. I also connected with people which actually, gave me a few ideas which I would never thought of doing it. Also, this sort of situation raised the thing that, it could be a giant killer. Companies like Microsoft were threatened by things like this, Firefox and Linux, where users created open source codes and they actually challenged the big players. This guy here, Linux, is actually a very good friend of mine, because I met him online. And he actually lives in Antarctica, and he came to visit me. So don't believe what the media tells you, but this is what he actually looks like. I met him in there. So that's that. Now coming to the serious bit, I'm trying to implement the same sort of Web 2.0 technologies here in our own college network. So the idea is to get the LSC STM S2S network to bring the power of Web 2.0 into our own college. So whereby we can actually use all the advantages that we see that this media brings to us. I'll be very brief, quickly give you a quick overview of my proposed website or database. So basically, it would have an LSC STM network. You would have a user profile database where everyone can actually write about themselves. There are three main components to it. The main one that I'm concentrating primarily is the alumni network, where students can have blogs and forums. Then there could be an alumni event forum, and then there's an alumni mentoring forum, where they can give advice to current students. Another part is the students' networks and forums. One part of it would be barter skills, where students, maybe if someone is maybe better in a language perhaps, and someone else is better in maths, so they can actually share each other's skill and actually work out for mutual benefit. Then you've got the journal discussion forum, where you can talk about any and everything about the college. The third thing that I really thought of is, which I might not implement, depends on how these two work out, is the admin forum, where the admin can actually put notice boards and maybe results, and maybe some of the services that you have just described, like the website that you just said, that compares universities and things. So basically, that could actually come under here as well. A link to that follows to your website, perhaps. And there's a students FAQ section where they can ask questions to the administrators, which sometimes they find it very difficult going there physically, so they might use this forum to actually use them. Okay, so the whole idea is to bring the advantage of this Web 2.0 into our own system. Now, the main features and advantages of this system would be.
Time's up. Thank you, Mr.